the next thing that I wanted to talk about was, well, you brought this one up to me, Letitia Wright.
Yeah, that was breaking news. I haven't heard it anywhere else. It's only on the BBC that is saying this, and it's kind of confusing, right? Because they're saying that Letitia Wright and production has resumed on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, the reason why this is confusing is because just last month, a memo was released by the top dogs, Kevin Feige, Nate Moore, Luis Esposito, and they all said that they were going to delay production by a couple of months because apparently Letitia Wright's injuries were more severe than they thought, and they wanted to give her more time to heal. Okay, but then when that started happening, people were kind of like getting against her, I guess. Like there was fan backlash and all this stuff, probably because of her, anti-vax beliefs or whatever. And then all of a sudden, one of the big trades came out. I think it was Hollywood Reporter. They came out and was like, oh, we've been informed by Disney, by Marvel, that they're going to resume production next month, as in January. Well, wait a minute. I thought y'all just said that you needed 4 or 5 months to help Letitia get healthy because she had a concussion, a laceration, a shoulder, and all.
Nah, I think it was the Kyrie effect.
Oh, where the situation pushed the circumstance.
Yeah, her injury was, they now require that people on set be vaccinated. Right? So now they needed another 3 months.
I mean,
so it's like
that was something suspected, that they would bend the rules and just be like, hey, you know what? We got too much riding on this. Look, she will get tested every hour. Just show up.
Yeah. So
maybe.
And that could be their compromise, right? That she just tests frequently.
Yeah. I mean, listen, as I've said many times, for different situations, Marvel can do whatever they want.
I mean, how can they not? They are one of the largest companies in the world.
But people act like Marvel is so restrained and that so confined that they have to do. I'm like, they don't even operate like other movie studios. You name another studio that is able to go partner with another big name studio and make $1 billion movie like they did. They change production. They
studios do that, but they don't do that anymore. Right?
No,
it's rare that
they would do it with smaller brands, right? So they
did it with like Titanic. They do it with James Cameron movies. They do that. They do it. It's just not a common practice.
I'm just saying, you don't take the big dogs going with the big dogs. You might take smaller independent production. So like, hey, we're Warner Brothers. We'll work
Titanic
with Ava
DuVernay. I think it was a combination of Paramount, Fox, and I think one other studio. It wasn't just one thing. They used to do that under the right circumstances.
Right. I'm just saying it's not common practice.
Hell no. And I bet
definitely not
Kevin Feige and company are cutthroat about this, right? Like they are really about not sharing money. Yeah. They are absolutely about not sharing money. They want to make sure that the profits stay in-house as much as possible.
Yeah. So I mean, given what they did with Sony, I think they made a smart compromise because, as we've said, there's more money on the merchandise.
There's few concessions, right? Yeah. The Hulk, bench him. Forget it. He's an Avenger now.
He's getting a solo movie, though.
When did the Hulk come out?
Oh wait.
That was 14 years ago, right? So
I mean, it was tied up with Universal. They didn't want to give it up.
No, Universal just wanted to do profit sharing, and Disney didn't.
I mean, for whatever reason, the deal just didn't go through.
If Marvel wanted to make the deal go through, they could have made the deal go through. They made a deal with Sony for Spider-Man. They're not going to make that deal with Universal for the Hulk, right?
Right.
So you and I have talked about how much Marvel loves Spider-Man. They'll do things. They'll take a loss.
Yeah.
It feels like for Spider-Man. Like they literally did all the heavy lifting for the first 2 Spider-Man movies and only made like a small percentage of the box office, and then all the merchandise. And the merchandise is nice, but they really wanted that box office.
Oh, for sure.
Right. But even still, even though they weren't going to get the box office money, the kind of deal that they would do for Spider-Man, they wouldn't do with other characters. You're not, they were just like, you know what? Screw it. We're not making a deal with you, Fox. We're going to buy you. Right. That's the only compromise we're making here. Right. Because we're not going to work with you. We don't want to. And we don't have to. We're just going to buy you and, go about it that way.
Yeah.
How many years did people say they wanted to see the MCU crossover with the X-Men?
Oh, for the longest.
Right. So anyway, Kevin Feige, Marvel, they weren't doing that deal. They could have done that deal. They have the power to do anything they want. And now we're seeing them flex their power with Letitia Wright returning to the production for Black Panther.
Yep. So, hey, all power to them. Let them do what they